Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope that you are enjoying this holiday season or at least finding some time to just get some rest. Oh, I actually have the wrong cover on. That's not the right cover today. This is the right cover today. This is what we're talking about today. Thank you everyone for joining me. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button. Can I also give my prayers? Hang on a sec. I actually have a cold, by the way. I'm just trying to like hide my sneeze there. My prayers and condolences to all the squaddies who are battling illnesses and any other issues. I know we have a few people going through treatment. I send my prayers out to Dorothy Ross. I think Church Nelly, I think also was going through some treatment. So sending my best to you both and anyone else in the squad. Wishing you health, um, and abundance for 2025. Thank you so much, Cinderella. I'm trying to tame the cold as fast as I can, taking all the things and vitamins. All the things and vitamins. Hey, Connie. Hey, Miss Levy. Hey, Mina. All right, let's get to it. Yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of this. I remember when I first saw this come up on my Twitter feed, it was just this very short video and a couple of pictures of a bunch of police cars supposedly leaving Sarandom or heading towards the direction of King Edward Hospital. To be honest, there was never really any clarification, like solid clarification of where these cars came from and where they were going to, if I'm being 100% honest. But this uh, narrative seems to have stuck. The palace haven't denied it. The Royal Rotaract haven't talked about it at all. So I'm going to assume it could possibly be true. Regardless of whether that is true, though, not too long after that, things started to unravel. And anything that the palace has put out in the past year has been met with, rightly, I think, met with suspicion. And then I think that Frankenstein photo just threw everything into a spin. Whereas this person said, exactly 1 year ago, on the night of December 28th, someone was rushed from Sarandom to King Edward Hospital. Reportedly, it was Kate Middleton, and the urgency was unrelated to her subsequent surgery. Will we ever find out what really happened? What are your theories? Well, there were many theories. There was a Spanish journalist who claimed that she was in a whole coma. Now, what was interesting about that is the Spanish journalist actually doubled down. There was rumor that there was a Spanish nurse that was supposedly fired, and again, there's still allegations from the palace, and that's possibly how it leaked to the Spanish press. The Spanish journalist doubled down on it, and the palace never actually went after her. There was no lawsuit at all, despite the fact that theory of Kate going into a coma definitely grew wings. Palace never shut it down. The palace never sued. Because the thing is, if you sue someone, you're going to have to prove that they're lying. So I don't think we really know 100% what's gone down, but something went down. Something went down. Because let's just assume, Kate had her abdominal surgery. Let's assume she was having, let's assume that she had this so-called abdominal surgery. It doesn't take as long as they said that it would take for her to recover. Let's assume that she was, let's assume that we believe that she was having chemo treatment. You wouldn't be out in the hot sun at Wimbledon and looking bright and sparkly at trooping. Everything about the last year has just been strange. And I find it mighty interesting that the reason I have this other picture next to the story about December 28th, is the tabloid media and the Royal Rotaract have all the time in the world to write stories about um, Meghan breaking protocol for having a hair bun and Kate looking utterly elegant for having a hair bun. They have all the time in the world for this frivolous nonsense, these ridiculous double standards, finding anything and everything to bash Meghan for, but they seem to have no time for actual truth. And I think 2025 is going to be the year of truth. We know that Harry's lawsuit is coming. And that's really the main story of today. Know that they prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Know that they are going to throw everything at the kitchen sink. I think anything that we've seen in the past, I think they're running out of ammo. I don't know what else they can throw at the wall, but they'll find something. They will find something to try and distract from this, to everybody in the royal household, watch your tea. Pour your own tea. Sleep with an eye open. Give your butler a hammer to put in his pocket. Watch your back. Eyes and ears open when walking through the palace, because goodness knows what these people are going to do to try and distract from this. Just read your comments before I get into the story, because it's quite interesting. Thanks everyone who's joined us so far. Should I do call-ins today? I wanted to do a call-in before the year ended. Today might be a good day to do it since it's Sunday. Or I could actually, do you know what? I'm actually going to do it on New Year's. That's when I'm going to do it, because I feel like most people will be off. And I finish what I'm doing early that day and I'm not going out in the evening. I'll do call-ins on Tuesday. Health and happiness, she said, maybe what happened caused that scar by her eye she didn't have before. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about this so-called scar on her eye. Yeah. I feel like we will find out eventually. We will have our theories, and I did a whole podcast if you go back on that. But something clearly happened, and we haven't been told the whole truth. Helen, you said, I am wondering what happened about the investigation regarding Kate's leaked medical records. All very strange and mysterious. Yes, I think that the tabloid media tried to get into her medical records and it was shut down, both by the palace and other powers that be. I honestly believe something like that, if they really, really needed to keep something so secret that it would cause a whole national ruckus, probably even the government would step in. Because I think those records would clearly tell us the truth. What she had, what she didn't have. Was she even in that hospital when they said that she was? So let's have a read of this, shall we? Harry said himself at the New York Book Summit that the truth will shock people. And I'm just trying to figure out what is so much more shocking than what we already know. Anyway, NGN's lawyers will try to destroy Prince Harry in cross-examination. In a few weeks, Prince Harry's lawsuit against Newsgroup newspapers moves to trial. Newsgroup Newspapers is the Murdoch family's British media arm, which publishes The Times of London and The Sun. Although the hacking claims against NGM put News of the World out of business more than a decade ago, while gossip blogs have been covering the ins and outs of Harry's lawsuit for years, it's worth remembering that pretty much all of the American and British media will be watching this trial closely. Now, they'll be watching it. Will they be reporting on it? Because this was the problem with the phone hacking scandal. You're not going to report about your own BS. And if you do, you're not going to do it in a balanced way that tells all the facts. You may not lie, but you'll probably omit truth, which is a form of lying. I believe that the phone hacking scandal, and it was more than just phone hacking, by the way. I think even just the term phone hacking minimizes the scale of what went on. I believe that it didn't cause the outrage that it should have, and the backlash and the action that it should have had, because the media is not going to report properly on the media. So actually, you had this whole hacking trial going on about the media, and it got downplayed by the media because they control the narrative. If you control the narrative, why would you tell the truth about yourself? Anyway, I didn't know this, but it's the first time someone has accused NGN of hacking and unlawful activity and taken it all the way to trial. Hundreds of hacking victims have sued NGN, and NGM has managed to settle with them before their cases have gone to trial. According to Puck News, the Murdochs have spent hundreds of millions of dollars and pounds settling these cases. Puck News spoke to a British lawyer, Mark Stephens, about what to expect from Harry's trial, and I found all of this fascinating. I will put the link to the full piece, but here are just, I'm not going to read the full piece, but here are just the highlights that Kaiser pointed out for us. What is Harry's legal claim? The claim is essentially that there was an unlawful acquisition of information by the newspaper, sometimes by hacking, but sometimes by deception. Given that in previous cases, judges have made findings about particular journalists being involved with particular private detectives who got information unlawfully, the question is, how did they get that information about Harry, which wasn't in the public domain? And the inability to demonstrate where the information comes from creates an inference of hacking. Next thing, a deal with Prince William. The first question is whether this is time barred, and here there is an additional layer of complexity because it is asserted that Murdoch's company did a deal with Buckingham Palace to give Prince William good publicity. And as a consequence of that, members of the royal family, William and Harry, agreed they wouldn't sue. So there becomes the question of, first, did Harry know about the claim? And second, did he know about the compromise of the claim? Do y'all remember in the Netflix documentary when Harry held up his phone to Meghan's face and there was a text from William? And Meghan's face was just like, F your brother, dude. Not that Meghan would actually ever say that, of course. But it was just like, you could just tell she was just like, oh my God. Stuff is going to come out about William and the other royals, for sure. I think that's part of why they have gone after Harry and his wife so much. The next part, an alleged secret deal. The chart is going to delve into some of the backroom deals that Harry says were done and are probably more embarrassing, both for the newspaper and the palace. Was there a secret deal for the newspaper to give good publicity to the royal family, and in return, they undertook not to sue? The judge has to make that determination first. If the newspaper loses the time bar issue, I think it's almost certain that Harry will win at least some of the unlawful acquisition of information claims. The time bar issue is really important, which is why the newspaper is bringing in a very eminent King's Counsel to cross-examine Harry. But at the end of the day, Harry is not on trial here. They are. So, Harry's 4-day cross-examination. They're going to try and destroy him in cross-examination because Harry's case is pretty straightforward. Harry says there may have been people in the palace who knew about this unlawful intrusion, but I didn't know, and therefore I wasn't able to exercise my rights. I wasn't able to exercise. The newspaper, on the other hand, says, well, of course you knew, and you had every opportunity to bring your claim, and you just missed the time. So this is where the royals are going to be embarrassed. Because if it comes out that there were discussions between the palace and the tabloids, and Harry didn't know, that works very much in Harry's favor. Because what else did Harry not know? And what conversations were being had between the tabloids and the newspapers? Well, now we have the emails. People out here who are always screaming, release her emails. Yeah, release the palace's emails. What kind of damages Harry needs to win? That's the next part. I think the answer is that this is not an economic case. Harry has made clear that he's not in it to either cover or make it his cost. He wants accountability. He feels that his life has been intruded upon, that it's had an impact on his relationships and others. And then you can layer on top of that the way in which the media treated Princess Diana, his mother, and of course, you start to understand why this is such a big issue of principle for Harry. Indeed, I don't think Harry cares about money. Like if he gets some money, it'll be the cherry on the cake. But really, it's accountability. The Will Lewis issue. Here is the position from claimants, not just Harry, but all of them, that Will Lewis oversaw the hiding of misinformation. Will Lewis, who is now one of the head guys at the Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos. That Will Lewis oversaw the hiding of information and the deletion of emails. Remember, there were almost 30 million emails that were deleted by Murdoch's side. That's part of the discomfort he's been experiencing in the last few months. There's basically 3 phases of what happened you can categorize. First, pretty much industrial level unlawful news gathering. Then, the stage when they decided to stop it. Finally, what they did about evidence of past wrongdoings. And that's where Harry says they deleted internal emails in a way that was non-retrievable. Not only deleted them off the local servers, but also backup servers. And you'll understand just how unusual that is indeed. That is going to be they deleted or destroyed rather phones and computers. They were absolutely going to make sure that nobody knew what was going on. That is going to be an interesting area in this trial because, of course, when you're dealing with an inferential case where there's no smoking gun, you're having to piece together information. So the question becomes, is that the action of an entirely innocent news organization that they deleted all of the historic emails from particular mailboxes? The judges will have to make an assessment. Nobody who's innocent just deletes all of that. All right, I'm going to stop for a second to go through some of your comments and then we'll carry on. Wendy, you said they really want Harry not to pursue this court case, fear of exposure. Indeed. Give me one sec, folks. One moment. Good afternoon to you, Joyce. Thank you so much for joining us. Cinderella, you are speculating about what Kate could have had. I mean, pre-cancerous cells can be easily removed by something like cryosurgery or freezing, or it doesn't require chemo, and it doesn't have the same effects on the body as chemo. But interesting theory from you. Kenneth, the truth is about his security case. I think that could also be part of it. I mean, if one of those emails, and I'm just speculating, if one of those emails says something along the lines of, we don't care if Harry or Meghan is dead, or if they die, or even better if they're dead or die, it's game over for the palace and the tabloids. Game over. Valerie, you said happy Christmas and happy holidays to everyone, and to you too, Valerie. Thank you so much for always being here. Thank you so much to Vez, Bright, Brahmi for the super sticker, much appreciated, and to Julia Rock. Thank you so much. That is so generous of you. Thank you. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and wishing you abundance and blessings for the new year. Thank you everyone who always donates. I mean, I appreciate just you being part of this community and your time, but do very much appreciate anybody that donates. Thank you, Julia. Elaine Parker, you're having an up-down day. I'm so sorry. I hope we're adding to the up. I hope we're adding to the up. Oh, actually, something else that I wanted to do before the year ends that just reminded me. When can I do it? Can I maybe do it tomorrow, or maybe that's actually how I can start the call in on the 31st. I wanted to do like just a podcast of like my top 10 favorite things, or not favorite things, like useful things that might help you in 2025, something like that. Yes, prayer for the Duke for winning his court case. You know what? Even if he doesn't win, I think the fact that at the end of the day, they don't want him to take his court case to trial because things will come out. That in itself is like half a win. But hopefully we go all the way. Hopefully. And Harry wins. Helen, I hope during the court case those emails are exposed to the general public. I think it's very much in the public interest that those emails are exposed. Thank you so much, Elaine Parker, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. By the way, y'all, if you do want to make any more donations during the live, please do donate via Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal. Let me I'll just get the links. I know Church Nelly post them. Thank you so much for that, Church Nelly. Thank you so much, Connie Barmer. Not just for supporting and watching my channel, but the whole squad. I see your comments and I see you in the chat across the whole squad space. Okay, let's get on to the next. Okay, I've gone through some of your comments, so let's go on to the second half of this article. Okay, so now we're looking at whether or not Will Lewis will testify. Interesting. I don't think he will testify, but he will be mentioned in the dispatches in the evidence, and the allegations made against him that he oversaw a cover-up or a clean-up, whatever you call it, is something, whether the newspaper wins or loses. That's going to raise more questions after the trial. Yeah. I think it'll be very, very difficult for Jeff Bezos to keep him around after this, and I'm surprised that he's keeping him around even now, given the controversy that this has caused within the walls of the Washington Post. I would say he needs to just get rid of him now. Why he even chose him in the first place is just why. Literally, you chose Murdoch's right-hand man. Is Bezos okay? When a decision verdict might come, I would think it's going to take a while because it's an inferential case, so the judge will be reserved. Note, the trial is scheduled to last 2 months and the outcome won't come immediately. It's going to be quite a long case, so I think it'll take a month or so before the judge gives a judgment. Oh dear, we're going to be on pins and needles. So Kaiser ends by saying, the thing that struck me as I read this is that Harry and his lawyers have spent years getting their ducks in a row, and once they prove that there's no statute of limitations on his claims, it's pretty likely that he'll win at least part of the case. The fact that Harry seemingly doesn't care about the money is interesting too. I mean, we knew that, and we knew that even if he wins, it's likely he won't even break even financially. He really is standing on principle. And even more than that, he wants to burn the whole thing down and expose the rot within Britain's tabloid media and the compromised royal institution. The thing is, say he wins or has a partial win here, but the damages don't come close to ensuring that he breaks even. That is how it will be reported in the British media and probably the American media too. They'll be focused on the money, not necessarily the legal victory. And this is so sad because they will be focusing on the money and not the fact that you have to have a big amount of money to be able to get any amount of justice. And you may not even be able to get that justice if you have money and you're a British prince. The focus here should be on the injustice to the everyday person. You cannot take these people on. Even if you're a famous celebrity with lots of money, even if you're the Prince of the United Kingdom. So what more for the average person? What more if you aren't able to afford lawyers like this? It shouldn't be like this. You should be able to have a fair trial. And it's not just the fact that these big media companies like NGM, Murdoch and Rothermere and all this lot, it's not just that they have money. It's also that they have the political connections to be able to pull strings. So even if, like in Harry's case, you have the money, they're whispering in the ears of government officials, whispering in the ears of other powerful people. They're creating all of this hate campaign they've created around Meghan just to stop you from getting justice. So it's not even about whether or not you have the money. You don't have the connections and the powerful connections to be able to go up against these people who literally have the government and who else, other people who sit in dark rooms on speed dial. That's the other side of this. How we dismantle this whole system, goodness knows. But hopefully, maybe what Harry is doing will be the beginning. And as many of you have said in this chat today and before, he is doing the public a public service. They just can't see it yet. Thank you, Lottie, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Yes, Wendy Lowman, this is going to be a trial for the history books. A trial for the history books. Miss Levy, how does one family have so many secrets and clearly not good ones? You would if nobody ever holds you accountable for anything and you just feel like you can do anything you like. And it seems to be never enough for these people. It doesn't matter how much power and status and money they have. By the way, if you're listening, thank you to Kali Jan, who recently became a member. Oh gosh, I didn't actually see a follow up. You said, you bought a membership and didn't enter your email correctly. How do you fix that? Okay, sorry, Kali. I saw your membership, but I didn't see your follow up message. I will sort that out off air. So sorry, I've literally only seen that now. I am so sorry. Although I'm pretty sure you can actually just log in CaliGen and change your account email. I'm pretty sure it's that easy, but I'll double check for you and respond properly. Julia, you said, imagine if Diana was still alive. I think of her so often. She would be living in the US, I bet, just loving Meghan and the babies and animals. You never know. Sometimes certain things happen out of tragedy, and you never know. Maybe if Diana was still here, maybe Harry wouldn't have found Meghan. Who knows? Maybe things would have been different. Time is weird in that way. You ever watched like a movie like The Flash, where you change one thing and it just changes the course of everything? So you never really know. I would like to think there is some space and time where Diana was still here and her and Meghan were besties and they all went off to the US. But we just don't know. We don't know how things would have turned out if Diana was still here. Yes, hun. Harry will win because God is in control of the Sussexes, and in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Rahini, you said the tabloids will focus on the lack of money to deflect from the legal precedent that will be set. Yes, and that is actually, again, one of the most important things. By the way, thank you to all of you who gave feedback on Rahini's um, fundraising idea. She's been making these lovely um, items here. You can see hats, socks, key rings, and we managed to figure out a way to get cheaper shipping. So we will be opening a store for these soon, and a portion of the proceeds from the sales of these items will go to um, charity. And these ones, at least, as you can see from the colors, will go to Invictus. So I'm going to be working with Rohini at some point this week to just get everything set up and done so that at least these ones can be live in time for Invictus. So they will range from £15 for keyring to £70 for the dollars, not pounds, $15 for a keyring, to 50 for the hat, and then $70 for the socks, and that's with shipping included, and also a number for authenticity because we're only making a small quantity. Rahini will only be making a small quantity. So thank you everybody for your feedback, because we had a little bit of a chat about this in one of the previous podcasts. So those are coming very, very, very soon. Stay tuned. Okay, just a couple more things before I end today's podcast. What else someone mentioned? Do you remember Jessica Maroney? She was Megan's bestie in Canada. Jessica is quite a well-known socialite, and they were very, very good friends. We don't actually know whether or not they're still friends. Not really anyone's business, I suppose. But at one point, Jessica had gotten into it with a Miss Sasha Exter because of something. Sasha didn't feel like Jessica was being supportive enough during the Black Lives Matter thing that happened, and they got into a public spat. And because Jessica was obviously friends with Megan, that then became a much bigger headline. Anyway, Jessica and Sasha are apparently going to be on some kind of season of Real Housewives in Toronto. I hope everybody keeps Megan out their mouths. And we don't know if Jessica and Megan are even still friends, but the OGs in the squad space remember how the whole thing between Jessica and Sasha went down. Oh my God. That should be it. I might actually watch this one. Also, there is if you're over on Reddit, I tend to stay away, with the exception of a few useful Reddit subreddits. But if you are on there quite often, there is a new subreddit called Global Harry and Meghan, which is a pro Harry and Meghan subreddit. There are a couple of anti-Harry and Meghan subreddits, mostly just strangers complaining about how they're sad that Harry and Meghan haven't failed yet, and how Meghan always seems to land on her feet. But here we have a positive one, and it seems to be pretty well moderated so far. So go and check them out. Reddit's not a space that I occupy, but we need pro Harry and Meghan outlets on all of the social media platforms. So if you're on Reddit, go and please check that out. Global Harry and Meghan. Always like to support other people doing cool things for the Sussexes. Alrighty. I'm gonna end things there. Thank you everyone as always for coming. Thank you everybody who donated. Lottie, Connie, Elaine, Julia, and V. Jimmy Carter passed away? Wow, how old was he? I know of President Jimmy Carter, but to be honest, I don't really know what his policies were or how Americans felt about him. But y'all seem to be telling him to rest in peace and not piss in the comment section. So I'm going to assume y'all liked him and that he was a good president. He was, let's have a look. How old was he? He was born in 1924. Wow, almost 100. Wow. Incredible to live to 100. This man has seen so much. Just wow. Okay, that's going to be my one thing that I do before I go to bed. educate myself a little bit on President Jimmy Carter. I genuinely do not know anything about this man's presidency. Um, Helen, you said I joined as a member 2 months ago, but it's not letting me log in. You joined as a member on Buy Me a Coffee, babe, or on here on YouTube? Very sorry if it's doing that. Let me know whether it's on Buy Me a Coffee or here on YouTube. Comment, because I'm about to end the podcast. I might not see your comment, so maybe put it in the response in the comment section after the podcast is finished, and then we can maybe go back and forth, and I can help you solve that. Very sorry about that. Sometimes YouTube can be glitchy. I've even heard of people being unsubscribed from people's channels. Cookies and cream, you said, sleep in heavenly peace, President Jimmy Carter. He was a great honorable man and humanitarian. That's good to know. I will do some research and reading on him. Thank you so much. Oh, Lightside just joined. We're about to finish. Rohini, you said, I'm thinking 10% of sales go to charity. What do you guys think? Whatever you feel is best, Rohini. I do think that you should be compensated also. And if a little bit of it goes to charity, then that's great. And I love that you've actually chosen to theme it around an initiative from our faves. And I love the Invictus colors. I will be getting myself one. So yeah, stay tuned, folks. I will be letting you know where you can get them. Wendy, you said Scamby Sam can't pay her bills. Oh, is Dan what not paying? Does he not pay for appearances? I mean, he's not on GB News anymore, so he can't have somebody else write the check. Absolutely sad. I heard that her non-court case, she's been told that it can't go forward, or that she can't appeal or something. I don't know. I stopped paying attention to that court case because it's a non-case. But something about it came up on my feed and the squad were laughing about it. So I'm assuming that it's still going nowhere. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Adbo girl, you said Marini recently supported Aro in the summer. Okay. Let's see, all three Jessica kids were at Mega's wedding. Yes, but I think that whole thing happened after, didn't it? Somebody asking about Leveson too. Yes, it was cancelled. It was cancelled by the Tory government. Leveson 2 was meant to look at the police's involvement and police corruption in hacking and cover-up. A 100 years old, but he casted his last vote. Wow, that is amazing to know. Fighting for democracy until the very end. Yes, only praying for Harry and Meghan's protection is especially as we come towards this court case. Jesus. Oh, Helen from Buy Me a Coffee. Okay, I will look into that. I might actually message Buy Me a Coffee and ask them and say one of my members is saying they can't log in. What's going on? So thank you for letting me know. I'll look into that. And because I'll have your email on the back end, so I'll get back to you with an update about that by the end of the week if you're still having trouble logging in. Yeah, I do have the sniffles last I do. Cinderella, you said Jimmy Carter was the first president I voted for. Amazing. Oh, wow. You lot are really making me interested to do some reading on him. Thank you. That's a nice thing about having people in your community who are from different countries. Okay, I'm going to end with this nice comment from Lightside. Hope everyone takes care and maybe see you all in the new year. Wishing everyone a marvelous 2025. I am willing positivity for all of us moving into this age of Aquarius. Amen. Amen to that. Thank you, Lightside. And yes, Lottie, me and Lightside will do a live chat at some point. All right, thanks as always, everyone. See you tomorrow. Ciao.